Well, she burnt the house down the day she was born.
Yeah.
So.
Tell me that story.
Well, while I was, they were canning cherries that year, and that day, and my dad was away from home, and the fire got too hot and set the house on fire while the doctor was delivering me in the front bedroom. So they had to move Mother and me to my grandmother's house in town. They didn't even have a chance to put clothes on me, so my first ride to town was naked.
So we always accuse her of burning the house down.
They called me the fire baby for years. Yeah, I remember from way back then when we had that dust storm that time. It blew all the Oklahoma dust up here. I remember Mother soaking sheets in water and hanging them over the doors and windows to keep the dust out. That was way back in the 1930s. I was born and raised in Edgerton, and then we lived in Kansas City for a few years and then moved to Gardner. That was in 1936, a train wreck in Edgerton. And my dad helped. Dad worked in the railroad, and he helped clean up that. Well, Gardner had 600 people when we moved here in '45, and I think it's 19,000 now. And we bought the Gardner Variety Store from Jim Poisel in 1960, about 65, I think. And then we owned it till about 1988. We had greeting cards and baby department and kids' toys and stuff. And the candy department was one of the kids' favorite places. I have grown-ups that once in a while come to me yet and say, I remember buying candy from your store on my way to school and way home after school.
When I was growing up, there was nothing behind Main Street. This was all like a cattle field.
Yeah.
Because we even raised chickens in the backyard when I was a kid, and we lived on Main Street.
Yeah, all of this was pasture land. I think there were just 2 gas stations. The one was Canali Marley and the other was Bill Frazier.
Even when I was growing up, there was no I-35. That wasn't until after I got married and came home when they had all the highways. We had a little 2-lane highway when I was growing up, and that's how you went to Kansas City. It was a long trip. Right?
My dad was on the crew that helped build that through Edgerton. He worked that summer on the road crew that built when they was building 56.
There was a railroad depot when I was growing up, and it was down by the viaduct, and you just went down off a little road right by the side of it, and down to the depot, and you could get on the train and go to Kansas City or Topeka or across the United States.
You used to just have to meet the train and get the mail. Golder Blakeman used to do that and take it up from the train to the post office.
Yeah, there were always a lot of trains because we had a lot more passenger trains and things then. Not just freight trains. Yeah. So you saw a lot of passenger trains. Sure, that the sound of the trains going through would put you to sleep at night. That's because we didn't have air conditioning. You just had the windows open, and we had bus service growing up too. It stopped every day in town, and at the variety store they sold the tickets to the buses.
Because for several years. Yeah. When Judy went to school, they didn't have kindergarten, but they started the year that my oldest boy started. He went to kindergarten. Wilmy Moore was his teacher. She's an old-time Gardner resident.
But when I started, we had first grade downstairs and high school was upstairs. We had everything was in one building. And when I graduated from Gardner High School, I believe there was only 50 or 52 students in our class, and we were the largest graduating class at the time, and that was in 1962.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I've enjoyed Gardner. It's been a nice place to live. A lot of friendly people.